Hey guys! So I decided to make this video because I have noticed I keep wanting to make videos regarding Christianity in the segment you know. But the thing is, you know, I want it to be not just about Christianity and faith, but also about lifestyle, about mental health especially, and about lady stuff, because I feel that there are other things that are not being talked about, especially in the church, but also in the wider society, that need to be addressed. But the thing is, for the past 3 months I have been struggling a bit with my own views of the church, and I guess that's why I've been feeling so strongly about Christianity, and I keep wanting to talk about Christian stuff. This issue I want to talk about today is something that I've been feeling so strongly about for the past few months, and especially lately. I feel that I need to address it, especially if in the case that maybe there's someone else out there that may be going through a similar experience or journey that I am, and maybe feeling a bit like they're the only ones going through it. But yeah, by sharing this, I'm hoping that, yeah, people that may be going through something similar, we may know that they're not the only ones who are going through this, and that there's nothing wrong with them. This is just part of our human nature and our journeys, really. It's a little bit hard for me to share this part of my journey, but I feel that it's something that I need to say out loud as well and kind of process. And I have been processing it for the past few months, and right now I'm just stalling. I'm trying to say, yeah, just share what's happening, but I'm really stalling because it is hard for me to say it, to really share this part of my life, because I do have a bit of fear about being way too vulnerable. I guess also because this is something that may be seen as negative by many people in my own church. And maybe even in other Christian churches. So as you can see, the title of this video is the reason I now call myself a Christian instead of a Catholic. In my own beliefs, I truly believe in many of the things in the Catholic Church, honestly. I believe in the sacraments, I believe in the importance of Mother Mary, I believe that we can pray to the saints for intercession. The issue is that I have had some negative experience that actually kind of blocked me from being able to call myself a Catholic. And that's the vulnerable part that I really want to share. So for the past 3 years, I have been struggling deeply with depression and anxiety. And the thing is that depression and anxiety was triggered by my experience within a specific Catholic community. I have known about this community for a long time because during my childhood it was a really huge part of my life. But then well, once I was in high school, I wasn't able to be involved as much. But once I finished high school, I had a reconversion to the Catholic faith, especially because I started getting involved with this community again. But the thing is, throughout the time that I was with them, like since 2013, I have had a share of, I guess, I don't want to call them betrayals, but that's how it felt. My trust has been broken many times over the years by members of this group. One of the biggest teachings that Jesus would be really spreading throughout the Gospels was mercy. And it was through God's mercy that I was able to learn how to deal with my own sexual addictions. I do have an attachment to the Catholic faith because of that, apart from believing in the other doctrinal things in the Catholic Church. But even though this is my experience with God, with that closeness to God and that goodness and mercy that He has for me, I have gone through a lot of heartbreak with this community. I have been vulnerable with people in this community. I have shared very intimate things. I have shared my brokenness, and there were several times when I felt like it was thrown back at my face, like I was dismissed for what I felt. That was told that I should be more forgiving, I should be more chaste, I should be more pure, I should be more, I don't know, I should be more of perfection, really. I am gonna make the point that not everyone in that group was like that. But the thing is, when you endure sort of like emotional turmoil from specific members, especially the ones that are a big part of the authority of a group, it's really hard to dismiss that side of the community. That even though there are good people there is a majority that has kind of cultivated a sort of toxic kind of culture, and I have been impacted by that toxic side of the community to the point where I did start developing my depression and my high anxiety. I started losing a lot of self-esteem in myself because I wasn't doing the things that I was either expected to do or the things that were like part of their criteria of the perfect kind of Catholic or Christian. It kind of got to the point where I started feeling like a failure, like I was worthless, and like I was that I was just like there was something wrong with me. For the time that I was in that community, I gave so much of myself, not just with my vulnerability, but also in my talents, my strengths, in trying to do things for this community, to really serve them, to really participate, and to really join in the mission that they had and really try to spread it around. But so many times I felt like the things that I did wasn't good enough for them, or that it wasn't as accepted to them because my way of doing things or my personality or temperament was completely different from the criteria that they had for people in the community. And it got to the point where my depression went into a really dark place, and I started feeling extremely dark thoughts and feelings. And I had to actually take a step back from this community. I actually told one of the leaders that I had to step back because I was going through these feelings and everything. She had just suggested to me going to a psychologist and everything. I realized, yeah, definitely I do need to go to a psychologist. So I told the closest people there to me that I was going to need to step back from getting involved in this community because I needed to work on my own mental health, which they were like, yeah, that's pretty wise. But once I stepped back, no one actually seemed to really care about me. I was going through those dark thoughts, I was going through those dark feelings to the point where I needed to go to the hospital. And throughout that whole time, no one asked about me, no one reached out to me, no one checked up on me, and they knew I was going through this. They have since said sorry for it, because I approached them and said this was wrong of you. It's wrong that that a community like this, who claims that the community is family, would not check up on one of their flock, especially when someone has actually mentioned explicitly that this was going on. And that was the last straw for me, because that's when I realized, oh shoot, like, with all of the broken trust I have gone through, with all the heartbreak I've been through with all of you, and with all of the giving I have been trying to do, and trying to gain your approval and gain your acceptance. If you're not willing to take me in my darkness, then I was not someone you deemed good enough or valuable in the first place, so it wouldn't have mattered to you, would it? And so once that happened, I actually I still reached out to them sometimes during the next year, while I was going through my mental health recovery, because I still wanted to be part of this community so badly, because it was such a huge part of my conversion. It was such a huge part of my life for such a long time. But obviously, after what had happened, it was really obvious that they didn't want me there. And that hurt even more, because once I called them out on what they did wrong, I feel like maybe I wasn't cut out for the community anymore in their eyes. So since that time, I stepped down from the community. I haven't been back since, but the remnants of that emotional trauma and that spiritual trauma I've gone through with them are still present in my life, and they have been affecting me for the past 3 years. And especially right now, I have been feeling it quite strongly, because I guess I've been wanting to be involved in the Catholic Church. I have been wanting to participate and give of myself and all of that, but because of what I went through with that specific community, I guess it's really hard for me to actually be in the church and feel like I am at home in the church. That I feel that I can't see the Catholic Church in a positive light because of what happened to me. And that is the main reason why I have been finding it hard to call myself Catholic these days, and I have been labeling myself as a Christian instead. That is the extent I can share at the moment, but eventually I wish I will be able to share more than what I have shared today, because I know that I'm not the only one who has experienced this, and that there are many people who have been hurt within the church, whether it be in the Catholic Church or a church in a different Christian denomination, or even in a different religion. And so one day, when I'm a bit more healed from what I have gone through, and when I have figured myself out and figured my own stance on the church, I will share a bit more about my story, because I know that even though I have gone through these negative experiences within the church, eventually God has this amazing power. He has this amazing way of really transforming those negative experiences into something very beautiful. And the thing is, like, even though I have gone through these experiences within the church, this whole time God has been present. I know that He has been there with me through all of it. And even though I am not happy with the church at the moment, and I don't feel at home with the church at the moment, I do know that God has been a constant in my life. My relationship with Him will never fade, even if I am struggling with prayer at the moment. Even though I fall off the wagon when it comes to living in virtue and such, I know that He's always present, and that He loves me unconditionally, and that He has a huge compassion for me and for you and for all of us on earth. I want to be able to use this part of my life, this traumatic and negative and dark part of my life, as a way to really give testament to God's goodness and His mercy and compassion. If you are going through something similar than I am, you may be feeling that He's very far away, and you may be doubting Him and everything. And I don't know, I really want to put it out there that even though our negative experiences in the church have really hurt us and everything, the church is a separate entity from God. If members of the church are hurting you, or if the overall church has hurt you because of scandals, because of sex abuse, because of spiritual abuse even, yeah, like, that is not of God. That is not a reflection of God. That is not who God is. And I guess there's nothing wrong with feeling the way you feel. If you feel anger or frustration or resentment towards the church, because that is this is the reality that you've been through, and this is the reality I've been through as well. So yeah, I hope that by sharing this, at least if you're someone who has gone through this difficulty lately or in the past, that you may know that, yeah, you're not the only one. And if you're someone who has never experienced this, and you have a friend or someone in the church that approaches you and shares an experience similar to mine, please don't dismiss them. Yeah, I have no idea how to finish this one, actually. Yeah,